Welcome to LEXperts, the series that gets you from A to B on your journey to an electric commercial fleet with insights and knowledge from the expert team at Lex Autolease. In our final episode of the series, we're talking to the LEXperts all about the advantages of EV and also the costs and benefits to transitioning to going electric. Carol Roberts is our LEXpert today. She's head of bid and implementation, helping retain, grow and win more business.
Well, Carol, thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited to get into your mind because you are the proper LEXpert when it comes to numbers. You are the figures guru here. Obviously, making the transition, there are going to be transition costs involved, but there are also long-term running costs. So just talk to me about what the cost benefits can be for switching to electric.
It's important to look at the whole cost scenario. Also to make sure that you do your calculations correctly up front. And whilst typically the upfront cost can be more expensive, you need to consider that from an EV perspective, the actual running cost and pence per mile is a lot lower. You don't need to worry about things like, you know, the cost of the diesel, things like the AdBlue, etc. And all that adds up as a true benefit. And we've also got to remember this is about the sustainability and the green focus area, rather than truly focusing on the cost.
So Carol, just explain how you would suggest approaching a new business strategy and what the considerations are now.
You should be comparing the combustion engines to the EV technology, and really you should be doing that analysis up front. It's really important to consider all the running cost elements such as fuel, insurance and maintenance. It's really interesting that maintenance plays a really important part in this because the vehicles are less complex and therefore the benefit is significant from a maintenance perspective and helps with those whole life cost analysis.
And that's just something that people wouldn't necessarily think about at the beginning, that you can save money on your maintenance. So what about other incentives, regional incentives, for example? What are on offer?
And there's some really great incentives in the regional areas. Within London, you don't have to pay congestion charges if you're driving an EV or a PHEV. If you look at somewhere like Scotland, they're using loans to help you switch over to EVs, and somewhere like Northern Ireland, where you can get a grant. So it's really important to start looking at these opportunities when you're looking to choose an EV.
What other benefits are there, away from just the cost benefits? What about the human benefits?
I think from a human perspective, you've got to look at the vehicles and all you really need to worry about is like the battery or the pedals. They're so much less complex and effectively that makes it a much calmer drive.
Carol, what are the financial incentives offered by the government at the moment?
The Office for Zero Emission Vehicles offers some really favourable grants at the moment. So for large commercial vehicles, that can be anything up to £5,000. For the smaller commercial vehicles, that can be up to £2,500. I think it's encouraging to say at the moment they're holding their value in the used market, so there can be benefits from when you sell the vehicles at the end of contract as well.
That's what's quite critical. At the moment, businesses can take advantage of them because the incentives are there, but that might change in the future.
It's really important to start the journey now, get involved in it now, take advantage of all the incentives that are available, the tax benefits that are available, things like the workplace charge incentive are allowing you to take 75% of the cost of a charger or anything up to £350 for up to like 40 chargers. You do need to remember that you need to own the property or get permission to put them on there.
Huge savings could be made. From your perspective, knowing what you know, what one piece of advice would you have for a business looking to convert their fleet?
To absolutely start the process early, to get in the game now, take advantage of all the tax benefits and the grants that are available as you transition, and to partner with an organisation that will really help you and lead you on the journey to net zero.
Brilliant. Carol, thank you so much for sharing your advice with us.
Thank you.
So much to take in, but clearly there is a lot of information out there on how best to prepare your business for that transition. Luckily, we have our LEXperts on hand to break it down even further.
Electric vehicles tend to be more expensive to purchase.
So the first thing to do is really to do a whole life cost calculation.
If you look at the business case over a longer period of time, it makes much more sense and should feel much less scary.
Especially for a commercial vehicle, you need to look at the wider operating cost, including the fuel and obviously the acquisition cost.
You need to consider your fuel costs, insurance costs, the maintenance costs.
You'll have some areas where there will definitely be cost savings.
There are capital allowances from a tax perspective available that make that really beneficial from a company perspective.
But it's also important to focus on what's actually most important, which is the sustainability element.
Electric vehicles are much greener, they're much less polluting, and that's what we're all trying to achieve.
So look at electrification as an overall, don't look at each individual piece.
Lex Autolease worked with Mediquip, the UK's leading provider of community medical equipment, to reduce its vehicle emissions across its fleet of 460 vehicles. Following a trial, it's now replaced 25 of its petrol and diesel vehicles with all-electric Mercedes e-Sprinters. This is just the beginning of a 4-year contract with Lex, but already Mediquip is expected to save more than 8% in CO2 emissions and save an estimated £1,200 for each commercial vehicle replaced. As an end-to-end partner, Lex Autolease has costs front of mind and offers many finance packages tailored to your business needs. As part of Lloyds Banking Group, there's access to a wide range of funding, support and sustainability expertise to aid your transition. Now, if you did miss any of our previous episodes in this series, it's well worth popping back to catch the many insights shared by the LEXperts. And a huge thank you for watching.